That was my Andrew Tate impression. Welcome to episode 9. Today we're going to put to sleep a group of people in the Hollywood Hills that are known as celebrities. Now we all know these people are off. I mean, we've seen their tweets and their episodes of MTV Cribs, but today we have a few new perspectives to consider in case you think that chopping off a president's head for a newspaper, Kathy Griffin, or Gothic statues in your bathroom, probably the guy from Good Charlotte, are perfectly normal things to do. So this week I was watching Bling Ring. It's a new documentary about these teenager kids who stole a bunch of stuff from celebrities' homes. And first of all, those kids did not get the punishment they deserved. I am a huge proponent of personal property rights and punishment, extreme punishment, if you steal something that somebody owns, because you stole their life from them. Because everything we own, we traded a piece of our life for them, our time, which we don't get back. So no matter how easily or quickly someone makes their money, if it's not illegally gotten, it's your property. I respect it. And these kids did not respect it, and they didn't get the punishment they deserved. So I am not an advocate of those kids. But as I'm watching it, you also get to learn a little bit about the psyche of these celebrities' minds. First of all, celebrities, we've learned from the Bling Ring, are uber obsessed with status. And I think with limited exceptions, we can assume this is why they became famous. How do we get here? Which would mean two things. First, that they're immoral, because fame and status is a fixed pie. So to have it, someone else has to not have it. But second, because they're mostly not talented. It does not logically follow that being obsessed or a desire for attention would lend you the skills to procure the attention. In fact, it's almost the opposite when we think in financial terms. People who are obsessed with being rich, with that lifestyle, don't get rich. That's why rap music is like porno for poor people. They're not going to have that lifestyle because they are skipping directly to the fruits of the labor. The rap doesn't tell you how to work hard. It tells you that it worked hard and now they do whatever they want. So it's really poison for poor people, ironically. Because the path forward to getting what you want is the practice, as Seth Godin calls it, not focusing on the end result. But that's another topic. So celebrities are these talentless addicts, and other researchers have found phenomena that it's easier to sort of become famous because you were in the right time at the right place than your skills creating something famous. It's like the Kardashian effect, you could call it. For example, I have a couple friends, I'm getting a little jumbled here, who after high school or after college, sometime in their 20s, they moved to LA to get famous. And guess what? I checked them out the other day, I searched their names, and they got some success. Like, good for them. That's great. They kind of got famous. But that's sort of weird because you can just move to LA, and I'm not saying it's easy, but you can go to LA and that's sort of like step one if you want to get famous. Whereas if you want to, I don't know, build a startup, step one is not move to San Francisco, right? There's not some sort of equation like that. It might not even be step one, learn to code, step one, learn to sell. I mean, you could be a total weirdo who wears pajamas and you're going to be one of the richest people in the world. So there's, to some degree, I guess, in the fame world, the celebrity Hollywood world, this sense of stand near a waterfall and you're bound to get wet. Already, step one, part one, why we should not respect these people. And I'm not saying this for me, I guess. I've never really held them in such a high regard. But watching this documentary has made me realize that a lot of people hold this group of people in a high regard. So I'm giving my little defense against that. Going one step further on celebrities with their obsession with status. One thing I found interesting from Bling Ring, I think we can really get into the meat of it now, is that these celebrities' homes were filled with expensive designer stuff. So these teenagers would go in and steal it. And designer stuff, bags, whatever, I don't need to say any particular brands because I don't know and I don't care. Those are status symbols. However, the celebrities themselves are walking status symbols. And moreover, the celebrities are one of one. NFTs, they are one of one status symbols. There's only one Paris Hilton. For better or worse, obviously for better. But yet, Paris Hilton, even knowing this, she will buy a bag that 50,000 other people also own. Think about it. To take that point a step further, another group of people who own bags, or you could say the people who own the other 49,999 bags that Paris owns one of, a lot of those people can't even afford it. So Paris Hilton has risen to this level, and she's one of the victims of the Bling Ring. I'm not singling her out for no reason. I actually never even thought she was pretty, so this is the first time I've thought of her since high school. She's become a one-of-a-kind person, for better or worse, a status symbol, and then she degrades her own status to join a group of 50,000 poor people who own the same bag as her, who can't afford it. Because that's what poor people do. Not all poor people, but poor people who are obsessed with status, they try to boost their status by buying a bag. But guess what we learned from Bling Ring? Rich people who want to boost their status try to do it by buying a bag, which to me creates this common denominator. And what do we do with common denominators? We ignore them. They even things out. So I'm truly not understanding the celebrity obsession with status symbols, because they have become a status symbol, yet they then reduce their own status in an attempt to gain more status by joining a group of people much larger that has no status. Meanwhile, other things like fitness, something also a lot of celebrities have, is not something you can easily replicate. No amount of money will give you abs, and you also can't get abs overnight, no matter how motivated you are, whereas you can buy a new car and a bag in a couple hours. So now we have these in-shape celebrities walking around. They're unique one-of-one status symbols. That is the epitome of status, because no one else could achieve it, can attain it, because you can't be that person. They became that way because they're obsessed with status. And then even when they get the status, they ironically reduce their status in the pursuit of even more status, which is how we know they're obsessed with it. Maybe I should have begun the story with that. One other side note from this documentary kind of occurred to me, and this is again another old expression. This isn't my idea. In regards to money, easy come, easy go. So one thing all of these status symbols have in common is they're very expensive, right? You make something more expensive, naturally fewer people are going to buy it. But a lot of rich people don't have any of that stuff, right? A lot of rich people, just because you're rich doesn't mean you buy nice stuff. Definitely not designer stuff. You might buy a nice car, but you're not going to buy a Bentley, right? But celebrities do, like they all do. According to at least the anecdotes, the data from this film, 100% of the time they go in a celebrity's house and it's just designer stuff everywhere. They didn't have one story where, we went in Orlando Bloom's house and wow, he was just a normal guy. He had some Vans and some V-necks and his house was really nice, but he didn't have much to steal. Not even one time did they have a story like that. And so I'm starting to think that even celebrities, again, money, easy come, easy go, they don't even appreciate the money they've made. They don't feel as if they've earned it because they so effortlessly squander it. So there's kind of two things going on at once. They're forced multiplier effects. They're obsessed with status, so they actually reduce their status because they're so obsessed with it. And by the way, that's why the people didn't get much jail time, because the case got spoiled in the media because everyone was obsessed with status. The cop who arrested the kids also was starring in the movie with Emma Watson playing himself. That's another story. So that also led to the case not doing so well for the prosecutors. But money easy come, easy go. So they don't even feel they've earned the money they've made doing movies or sex tapes, which is just another type of movie. And so they blow it on stuff that ironically reduces their status, even though they have now achieved the ultimate status, which is you being the status symbol. So this is just a group of sick people. And there's a lot we can learn from them. It reminds me of Costanza in Seinfeld, where one episode, he's just a weird guy. He doesn't really get his way, doesn't get what he wants. He's always tortured because of how he is. But in one episode of Seinfeld, George Costanza says, you know what, I'm going to try the opposite. He acts the opposite way that his instincts tell him to. And in that episode, he gets the girl, he gets the promotion, everything goes well for him. I think he gets a good parking spot. So trivial stuff and big stuff happens to him that's all positive because he rejects his normal inclinations and does the opposite. I think that is the lesson today for our celebrities, is really to make sure we are not following any of their behavioral patterns. We should be behaving in the opposite way. And if we behave the opposite of these celebrities, I think we will do just fine. See you next time.